Hello, my favorite people. I am going to bring you a lesson that nobody wants to talk about, something about commas. And commas are little tiny things and they cause so much issues that most people just try to avoid them and don't want to talk about them. But I have some good news for you, especially you math people. Commas, for the most part, are black and white. They are right or they are wrong, and it's very easy to know the difference. You just have to know a few rules. So we're going to take a look at commas, and some of these things are things that you've learned in elementary school, but you just might have forgotten. So one of the places we use commas is in dates. So Wednesday, February 15th. So Wednesday, comma, February 15, comma, 2023. Or if we're going to punctuate it with a short form, it's Feb, period, because it's a short form, then the number, comma, and then the year. So anytime we just do like this piece of the date, we always put the comma after the number. We always put the comma after the day of the week. And if we continue the sentence, we do not put a comma after the year. It's just part of the sentence. Place names, we have city, comma, province, or state, comma, country, right? And we just continue on in the sentence. There's no more commas after. So those are super easy. There's probably lots of other places we use commas. We use them in addresses. We use them all over the place. So I'm not going to go over all of those little places, but sometimes in your writing, you might actually have these things. So it's important to learn that. Lists. Okay. Oh, I have a typo here. Let's fix that. It is a list of 3 or more objects, 3 or more subjects, or 3 or more verbs. And we all know lists. So we talk about lists in elementary school, and I'm not sure whether you've taught to put a comma before and or not put a comma before and. So there's this thing. Rules are new. And there was a time when there were not punctuation rules at all. In fact, there weren't capitalization rules, and people just wrote however they wanted. And it was kind of confusing, actually. And so a few of the universities got together and decided that they needed to have a standard. Now, unfortunately, they didn't always agree. So on this point, there is a disagreement. The Oxford comma, called Oxford because that's the university that wants a comma here, says that we should put a comma before the and in a list. So I need apples, comma, oranges, comma, and bananas, period. All right? But other universities say, or other rule books say, I need apples, comma, oranges, and bananas. And they say that this is more correct because if you were just doing 2 things, you would just say oranges and bananas. You wouldn't say oranges, comma, and bananas. If it's a list of 2, we don't use any commas. But Oxford says, no, we have to have a list. We have to have a comma before the and. So either one is absolutely correct. And I'm not going to repeat this again and again. You're going to see that you can have both options in each one of these. What matters is that you are consistent. If you were handing in your work to me, I don't care which one you do. Personally, I use the Oxford comma. That's just because my Grammarly pops up the Oxford comma, and it's easier for me. But you can do it with the Oxford comma or without the Oxford comma. Just always do it the same. Now, if you take a course with somebody else, they might have a different rule. Follow their rules. They're the ones marking. In the real world, you're going to ask your editor or the person you're writing for what they prefer. Okay, so I write for a magazine that does not use the Oxford comma. So you just have to abide by whatever standards are in the organization that you're writing for. So that's where we put the commas in lists of objects. Now, why do we call these the objects? So apples, oranges, and bananas are all objects, like things. But that's not what I mean. I mean, they're the object of the sentence. So I need something. The something is the object of the sentence. And so we have compound objects. We have a whole bunch of objects that we need. And here we have compound subjects. Now, What is the subject of a sentence? The subject is not what the sentence is about. Gonna surprise you? Okay. In language, the word subject and the word topic are interchangeable. So when I say, oh, what subject are you studying today? That means, what topic are you studying? But when we're talking about grammar, the subject is the person or the thing that is doing the action. So that is this right here. Who is going to the store? Jack, Jill, and Bob. So we have Jack, comma, Jill, comma, and Bob, or Jack, comma, Jill, and Bob went to the store. So we can have more than one person or more than one thing doing the verb. All right? I hope that makes sense to you. And we could have more than one verb. A verb. What is a verb? Okay, a verb is an action or a state of being or having. So normally we don't have more than one state of being or having, but we definitely have more than one action. And this is kind of a silly sentence, but it works. Jill went to the park. How did she go to the park? She walked, hopped, and skipped. And so you can use the extra comma or not. So we just have more than one verb. And here's the one that's different. Okay? If we have two or more adjectives, this is not a typo. This is for real. Two or more adjectives, we use a comma in between. So the dirty, comma, playful puppy, or the dirty, comma, playful, friendly puppy. Okay, are you noticing something here where we do not put a comma? I hope so. We never ever put a comma between the adjective and the noun. Oh, another big word. What's an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes a noun. So we have the puppy. The puppy is the noun, and this describes it. Now, I hope that you noticed that this was not a sentence. All right, because sentences need subjects and verbs. And what did the puppy do? Jumped back into the mud. All right, I hope your little editing antennas jumped up there and you noticed that that was not a complete sentence. So the subject is puppy and the verb is jumped. And now we have a complete sentence. But we never, ever put a comma here. All right, not here. Oops, not here. That is where we do not put a comma. You never put a comma before the noun that the adjective is describing. So I hope that that makes a lot of sense to you and that you will come back because yes, you saw a little bit of sneak preview there. We're going to do sentence structure commas in another mini lesson. So I hope you learned a lot about using commas in lists and dates and places. If you have questions, you know where to put them. Put them down below in the comments and I will definitely get back to you and I hope to clear up any confusions that you have. I hope you have an awesome day and I'll see you again